Welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Gwen Jacobsen and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 117, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying our NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. This week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press is dated Friday, February 25th, 2022. And on the front page, we have a beautiful picture by Neepawa resident and professional photographer Jody Baker, who braved a freezing cold morning last week to capture the ice fog glowing in the sunrise, looking east over Neepawa from the hill where Eastview Lodge once stood. Jody does a fantastic photography. Now, we are going to read the next page, and it's entitled Neepawa Kin Club Deploys Kindness Ninjas by Kira Patterson. Last week, many people celebrated National Day of Kindness by performing random acts of kindness to others. The Neepawa Kin Club took that idea to another level with their Kindness Ninjas Kinja project. National Day of Kindness took place on February 17th, while Kin Canada's Day of Kindness wrapped up the week of February 19th. We were looking for a project to do for Kin Canada's National Day of Kindness and thought this might be a great way to involve the community in doing acts all week, shared Neepawa Kin Club's Amanda Nightingale. The Kinja project was inspired by a wine ninja concept that took place early in the pandemic, where people would sneakily drop off wine for friends and neighbors during lockdown. Nightingale noted that the Kinet Club in Medicine Hat came up with the Kinja idea, a play on words combining Kin Club and Ninja. We asked people to sign up to be a kindness ninja, Kinja. We also asked if they wanted to spend money or to do a non-monetary act of kindness. We also asked for recommended targets of businesses, organizations, and individuals that were deserving of a Kinja to treat them to a random act of kindness, explained Nightingale. Neepawa's Kinja project really took off, with over 80 Kinjas signing up for the week, including a kindergarten class, the town of Neepawa staff, and numerous individuals. Kinjas could sign up till February 11th, and then all of the Kinjas were emailed and texted their kindness challenges to complete by February 19th. We gave them the targets and left it up to them how they accomplished the challenge, said Nightingale. She noted that over 70 different acts of kindness were completed by the Kinjas, with some of the recipients of those acts also paying it forward. The Neepawa Kin Club also took on a couple of kindness challenges, as well as each member doing one or two. And to wrap up the week's festivities, the Kin Club hosted happy hour for the residents of Kinsman Courts 1 and 2 for National Day of Kindness. Kin Canada has been celebrating National Day of Kindness for over 10 years annually, taking place on the Saturday closest to February the 20th, which is Founders' Day, when Kin Canada was created. Nightingale noted that Kin Canada has been serving communities across the country for 102 years, with Neepawa's club celebrating its 45th year of service. The Neepawa Kin Club is seeking new members, Nightingale added. If you are a person over the age of 18 who wants to have fun and give back to their community, please contact us through our Facebook page for more information. And here we have a couple of pictures to give you an idea. Businesses, organizations, and individuals in the community were surprised with random acts of kindness from the Kinges. Some examples included treats for the Neepawa Middle School staff. This is what they got. And the Spruce Plains RCMP Neepawa detachment here. Yes, and over 70 acts of kindness were committed by the Kinges in the Neepawa area. So that's wonderful. The next article is about the town of Neepawa street light installation approved for Neepawa's new commercial development by Owen Devereaux. Neepawa Town Council has approved the installation of 24 new street lights on the section of land classified for commercial development on the former CN property. The approval of the motion allows for an electric services agreement with Manitoba Hydro in the amount of $131,404 plus GST. There was no specific date for the installation to occur, announced at the council meeting held on Tuesday, February 15th. The streetlights will be installed along some portions of Mill, Stonehouse, and Hamilton streets, as well as other locations. And for the council reports, Daryl Gerard provided details on the Finance Committee meeting for the 2022 municipal budget. He said that they have gone a long way in their preliminary discussion and are close to wrapping things up and proceeding on with first reading soon. Murray Parrott gave compliments to the staff and Finance Committee for ensuring the fiscal stability of the community through their long-term planning efforts. Parrott also noted that he had recently returned from a meeting in Swan River related to a stakeholders meeting for Prairie Mountain Health. Denny Segre updated Mayor and Council on the restoration work for Park Lake, specifically the rip-rap placement. Rip-rap is an expanse of stones, concrete, or other hard substances that are installed to prevent erosion around bridge and or buildings, pilings, buildings, or on shores. Sagwe said that the first phase of the work, which was the largest volume that needed to be delivered, was about 75% done. The tree scrubbing removal, meanwhile, began on February 16th. Councillor Gerard asked Sagwe about the clearance of a large section of piled up snow at Brown and Mountain coming onto Main Street. Gerard has previously brought up concerns regarding the visibility in the area for drivers and pedestrians, as there were blind spots caused by the excess snow. Those portions of snow clearing are looked after by the province due to their proximity to the highway. Segway said they would follow up with the province and potentially clear the area themselves for the safety of Neepawa residents. A request to build a new fourplex apartment complex at 270 Main Street East has been approved. The proposed two-story, four-residential unit was recently brought forward by developer John Lee Chen and property owner G.C. Basanta. The building will also have room to construct 6 parking spaces, enough for the 1.5 parking space requirements of the town to receive approval. This application was circulated to all nearby property owners, and no objections were submitted to the planning district or the town. And it says additional council-related articles can be seen on page 10. So we might as well go there and finish the town articles. Neepawa gets funding for future disasters by Owen Devereaux. The town of Neepawa is receiving some support from the province to help combat natural disasters. Chief Administrative Officer Colleen Sensician informed council that the town would be getting $37,482 through the Mitigation and Preparedness Program, also known as MPP. More than $186,700 in total will be split amongst 12 municipal projects to prepare for future natural disasters across Manitoba. The money provided to Neepawa will go towards the relocation of park sheds and the Mill Street lift station to alleviate risk of flooding. The specific details on the MPP were unveiled by Municipal Relations Minister and Agassiz MLA Eileen Clark on Thursday, February 17th. Other local municipalities receiving support include the following. Rural Municipality of North Cyprus Langford, $22,324.71 for investment in a reserve fund. Town of Minnedosa, $19,916.49 for drainage, ditch repair, and installation of erosion control netting to strengthen and stabilize the ditch slopes and increase capacity for future flood events. The rural municipality of Rosedale got $13,597.54 to construct a drain, build up the road, and install culverts to improve drainage conditions and improve flood protection to Spring Hill Colony. The rural municipality of Minto O'Donnell got $9,669.54 to construct water retention structures to slow the flows of spring runoff or rain events. And finally, the rural municipality of Clanwilliam Erickson got $7,075.28 to twin and enlarge sewer pipes to eliminate a bottleneck, preventing water from draining following heavy rain and causing sewer backups into houses. And the last town article is also by Owen Devereaux. The town of Neepawa has put together its water and sewer wish list for the near future. On Tuesday, February 15th, Council and Administration discussed and finalized its formal request to the Manitoba Water Services Board, known as MWSB. Each year, the board asks all municipalities to identify their water and sewer project priorities. These priorities are reviewed by the MWSB and potentially receive assistance in financing the upgrades. The town has decided that its local priorities for this year are the following: water tower repairs and maintenance, the addition of a third raw water well site location, a meter pit at High Life Food, Highway 16 water main extension, and lastly, the Mill Street lift station relocation. Manitoba Water Services Board has supported several Neepawa-based projects over the years, including $1.3 million invested back in 2020 to cover the costs of a water and sewer system expansion. Okay, travel and entertainment page by Kira Patterson. It says karaoke nights, new kids programming coming soon to Arts Forward. Neepawa's Arts Forward has a full slate of new programming and events in the works at the local facility. From music to cooking to crafts, the arts and cultural venue is going to be very busy in the coming months. One new event coming up is a monthly karaoke night, with the first one taking place on March the 12th. Programming coordinator Yvonne Sisley noted that the idea for karaoke came up at one of Arts Forward's board meetings, and they decided to partner with Neepawa Area Immigrant Settlement Services, known as NAISS, to make it happen. I met with Deborah and Larnie from Settlement Services with the idea of having karaoke nights. They have been amazing in doing all the behind-the-scenes work, organizing the food and all the details surrounding the karaoke end of things. We met in hopes of widening our user group and audience at Arts Forward and having an affordable night of karaoke, great food, friends, and family was the best way to start, Sisley expressed. The planned monthly evenings will not only feature karaoke sing-alongs, but there will also be international cuisine for sale. Each month will have a different country theme, with March being Filipino food and April's already planned with Spanish food. We want to showcase all the cultures in our community and build up to a United Nations Day that we will be hosting down at the Flats. Admission for the karaoke nights will be in the form of donations of non-perishable food items. All the food collected will be given to the Neepawa Community Ministries Center Food Bank. Cicely stated, I feel it's important to partner with and help out as many user groups as possible. The Salvation Army is low on supplies, and I'm sure will continue to be low due to the rising costs of food. So if we can help out in any way, we will. A brand new kids program is being organized for the spring as well. The Field to Table Club will be a combination of Kids in the Kitchen and Kids in the Garden programs, helping kids learn how to grow and cook their own food. Rob Smith and Son Backhoe and Trucking, along with Prairie Mountain Health's Healthy Together Now grant, the Town of Neepawa, Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, Neepawa Eats Healthy, and Men's Shed are all sponsors of this program, Cicely shared. She noted that the Neepawa Men's Shed group are building garden boxes for them, and the Town of Neepawa has offered a few options of locations they could put the boxes if Arts Forward doesn't have space on their property. The plan is to have the kitchen and gardening programs running in conjunction with each other, Cicely explained. Neepawa Eats Healthy will be given a list of the veggies, and their dietitians will help with the recipes the kids will be cooking. Co-op will be supplying some of the groceries for the kids' cooking program. The idea is to have the kids cooking recipes with the ingredients they are growing throughout the growing season. Then, at harvest, they will be able to take their veggies home and make a meal for their family. Field to Table Club will be starting on March 18th with instructors Glenda McPhee and Tony Ferguson. Cicely is in the process of organizing many more programs, some returning favorites and some brand new. Creative Kids Club will be returning March the 2nd, while a jazz, dance, and ballet class will be taking place on February 26th and March 19th, respectively. Cicely added that open mic nights will be continuing as well. As spring break approaches, Cicely noted that she is working on getting a variety of classes lined up to pique the interest of any kid looking for something to do with their week off. I'm just in the process of working on a pass that parents can purchase for their children, the idea being that their kids can pick 2 classes with the pass to join out of the ones offered during spring break week. Some of the spring break classes she's arranged so far include nail art for mothers and daughters to learn how to paint nails, watercolor painting, and prints such as monoprints, collagraphs, and stamping. She's also looking at getting a crochet class, a couple more art classes, and a martial arts class. And it goes on to say, says page 11. It's not continued on page 11, so I'm not sure where that went. Nope. Sorry about that, but it doesn't have the rest of that article. Maybe I'll come across it later. All right, out of Helen Drysdale's kitchen this week, it's potato casserole. The humble potato is one of the best packages of nutrition in the world. Potatoes are a nutritional powerhouse packed with essential nutrients including potassium, vitamin C, B vitamins, folate, iron, carbohydrates, and fiber. One medium-sized potato contains 110 calories as compared to a 1 cup serving of rice with 225 calories and 1 cup of pasta with 115 calories. One potato has more vitamin C than an orange, more potassium than a banana, and more fiber than an apple. The Incas in Peru were the first to cultivate potatoes around 8,000 BC to 5,000 BC in the high Andes Mountains. The potato made its way to Europe with the Spanish conquistador ships sometime around the late 16th century. It took nearly 200 years for the potato to become a widely grown crop. Potatoes were the first food that Europeans grew from tubers rather than seeds, and they were viewed with suspicion. They believed, since its origins were from a heathen society and they were not mentioned in the Bible, that they were a manifestation of evil. In Italy and France, the potato was accused of causing many diseases, such as leprosy, syphilis, narcosis, and many other ailments. Sir Walter Raleigh introduced potatoes to Ireland in the 1580s, and over the next 100 years, they were grown in small gardens. Farmers found that potatoes could grow double the food in the same land, and potatoes grew well in their poor soils. If they planted some of their land with potatoes, they would have enough to eat and still have land to grow oats and other grain crops. As a staple diet, highly nutritious potatoes helped alleviate the effects of such diseases as scurvy, tuberculosis, and dysentery. Ireland became so reliant on the potato that when the crop failed in 1845, there was a famine and many people starved to death. Antoine Augustin Parmentier, a French pharmacist and agronomist, was the man who made potatoes popular in France. He was captured during the 7 Years' War and found himself imprisoned in Prussia. During his prison stint, he ate a diet largely of potatoes, a diet that kept him in good health. Upon being freed, he returned to France and made the push to eat this nutritious vegetable. Using reverse psychology, he posted guards around his potato fields to prevent people from stealing them. Parmentier instructed the guards to accept bribes and allow people to steal the crop. These fields were left unguarded at night, so people would sneak in to steal potatoes as well. His plan worked well, and soon the potato was a staple of France. The potato is the world's third most important crop for human consumption after rice and wheat, and the first among non-grains. 1 hectare of potato can yield 2 to 4 times the food quantity of grain crops and is more efficient in water consumption than cereal crops. It has provided food security for millions of people in the developing countries. In Canada, we eat approximately 76 kilograms of potatoes per person every year, which translates to a medium-sized potato every day. This casserole is perfect for any meal. And Helen has a potato casserole recipe that you'll have to look online if you want to bake that. Sounds good. Next, we have the Spruce Plains RCMP report by Corporal Jacob Stanton. During the week of February 14th to the 20th, Spruce Plains RCMP dealt with 43 police activities. On February 14th, RCMP responded to a disturbance at a business in Plumas. Police spoke to all involved parties, and the complainant declined to proceed with charges. Police received a report of dangerous driving in Gladstone. The driver was located, who denied any wrongdoing, and the complainant declined further police action. Excuse me. On February 15th, RCMP were dispatched to a residential alarm in Minnedosa. While police were en route, they were informed by the key holder that it was a false alarm. Police responded to truck theft in Rapid City, and the matter is still under investigation. Police responded to a single vehicle rollover in the RM of North Cypress, Langford. The lone occupant was transported to the hospital, and the vehicle was towed. On February 16th, RCMP responded to a report of a domestic assault in Gladstone. After investigation, 1 person was arrested, charged, and taken into custody. Police were dispatched to an abandoned 911 call in Neepawa. The call could not be traced to a specific location, but police made patrols in the vicinity and found no signs of a disturbance. On February 17th, RCMP responded to multiple different reports of injured deer due to vehicle collisions in Minnedosa and the RM of North Cypress Langford. Police conducted various proactive traffic enforcement and engaged with several motorists. On February 18th, RCMP responded to a report of assault in Neepawa. On investigation, it was revealed that it was a verbal assault, and the complainant was actually the aggressor. No charges were laid, and the matter was concluded. Multiple highways were closed due to extreme weather conditions, which made for unsafe roads. They were eventually reopened once conditions improved. On February 19th, RCMP were dispatched to a report of an intoxicated male trying to gain access to an apartment building in Neepawa. Police attended and located the male, who was transported to his residence in the care of a family member. Police received a report that a stolen vehicle had been located in a snowdrift at a residence in the RM of North Cypress Langford. Police confirmed that the vehicle was stolen and located the suspect hiding in a garage on the property, who was arrested, charged, and taken into custody. And finally, on February 20th, RCMP responded to an abandoned 911 call in Gladstone. Police attended and discovered it was dialed accidentally by a child in the residence. RCMP conducted 8 traffic enforcement actions during this reporting period. Now, in the Rural Outlook section, it's entitled New Initiative Helps Plumas Organizations by Casper Werhan. A brand new fundraising initiative has been founded in Plumas. In operation for just over a month, Plumas Prairie Initiatives, Inc., or PPII, was created to raise funds for local projects in the community. Jack Sellers, secretary for PPII and a Plumas LUD member, noted the local skating rink and curling rinks as examples. Those organizations, he reports, have been hurt due to closure and restricted numbers connected to COVID-19 health and safety regulations. PPII was started to help raise the money needed to keep many of these clubs going, said Sellers. Plumas has a great group of people, and we were fortunate to have the Plumas Lions, Plumas Legion Branch 189, Plumas Game and Fish, along with Big Grass and Southern Health. PPII works closely with all these groups to accomplish the same goal. In addition to these collaborators and Sellers himself, the PP11 is formed by members Nicole Sellers, who's president, and Tyler Turner, treasurer and their newest member. Turner is a shop manager at GWB and has been noted to have a great interest in helping the community. Jack Sellers said he joined the Plumas Legion and is looking for ways to make a difference. I was told Tyler noticed a person with a young child at the gas station was struggling to find enough money to fill their tank to get home and wouldn't have enough to get to work the next day, Sellers recalled. Tyler told the gas attendant to fill it up and put it on his bill without saying anything to the other driver. That's the type of person who makes our community great, doing something nice to help someone and not expecting anything in return. With the COVID-19 pandemic, individuals, groups, and organizations haven't been able to carry out many of the traditional fundraising methods. Soup and sandwich fundraisers, barbecues, garage sales, and softball tournaments had been shut down. That's why the PPII has taken an alternative route, 50-50 draws. To date, PPII has raised $500 each with 50-50 draws for the Plumas Pirates to get bleachers and the Plumas Elementary School for a play structure. As well, $600 from building raised garden beds from cattle fencing. Their current effort is to raise $2,000 for the Plumas curling rink. We've sold over 125 tickets at $20 apiece. Pyramid Collision, Plumas Legion, and Plumas Game and Fish have bought 5 tickets each, said Sellers. If they win, they will donate their winnings to the Plumas curling rink too. If any other businesses would like to participate, or any individuals would like to get a personal ticket, they can do so by contacting Nicole Sellers via Nicole_sellers@hotmail.com, or Rosie Banyard by phone at 204-476-0692, or Tyler Turner via 431-759-0327, or Jack Sellers himself at 204-841-3898. Being such a fresh operation, Sellers told the Banner and Press that the group is still working on getting properly set up. At the moment, they only use their cell phones to e-transfer, operate their social media, do write-ups, and send in for grants via email and run their 50-50 draws. We would find our work easier with a computer and printer. We're hoping to raise money for those two items in the future. However, if anyone is in possession of either of those items and would be willing to donate them, they would be gratefully accepted. The group is also hoping to welcome more people to its committee as the non-profit becomes more established in the community. He added PPII is also looking to help Nicole with her animal rescue. She puts many hours into helping animals. She picked up a dog on February 13th, whose eye was badly injured. She drove the dog into Winnipeg that evening and didn't get home until 4 in the morning, needing to be at work at 8 in the morning at Westlake Gladstone's Recreation and Leisure Administrator too. Sellers assured that the dog had an operation and is now doing well. Anyone who would like to donate towards Nicole's efforts, he said, are encouraged to get in touch with her. Any donation would be greatly appreciated to help this service continue. In his closing thoughts, he also encouraged everyone to keep their eyes open, stating PPII has many other projects on the go that should take shape this summer. The only clues provided at this time were items needed for use in the Lions Park at that time. The items were sand pails, plastic shovels, good used hockey sticks for street hockey, kites, and sidewalk chalk. If anyone would like to donate these items, they are asked to contact PPII. And here we have an interesting picture called Dressed in Their Best. Would you be able to recognize these little guys? These little tykes pictured here around approximately the year 1920 are Reg and Billy Foreman of Arden. Unfortunately, information regarding the event they were attending was unavailable. Quite the outfits. All right, what's next? I found the rest of that Arts Forward programming. It was on a different page. Anyways, maybe I'll continue with that right now. In addition to the possibility of the spring break martial arts class, Cicely said that local instructor Derek Pearson will also be running regular martial arts classes for both adults and kids starting in April. As well, Arts Forward is working on getting a monthly trivia night sorted out, with hopes to start in late March. Cicely added that admission for the trivia night would be non-perishable food donations like the karaoke nights. If anyone is interested in getting more information or signing up for upcoming classes, details can be found at Arts Forward's website, artsforward.weebly.com, or Cicely can be contacted at artsforward@mymts.net. Cicely expressed that the programming Arts Forward offers would not be able to happen if it weren't for the support of donors and sponsors and grants. Community support is vital to the success of a non-profit like Arts Forward. A number of local businesses who believe in the importance of the arts have stepped up and sponsored classes, programs, or activities through donations or gifts in kind. A list of sponsors is displayed in the main gallery. Not only can businesses contribute to Arts Forward, but they also have a patrons program for individuals and families to make donations. An individual can become a patron for a year by donating $100. A family patron membership is $200. As donations come in, a list of 2022 patrons is updated and displayed in the lobby. Donations of any amount are welcome any time of the year, Cicely shared. She noted that much of the money from donors, patrons, and sponsors go directly to help subsidize the programming, especially the children's programs. Fortunately, Arts Forward is able to keep fees for programming reasonably low. Funding for Arts Forward comes from federal, provincial, and municipal grants, sponsorships, donations, and user fees. It is vitally important to encourage children to explore art, not to produce career artists, but to raise children who are confident and comfortable with their creativity in whatever form it takes. Okay, and here we have two pictures. Gladstone High School curlers. Okay, so Zone 7 playdowns were held in Rivers, February 11th and 12th for high school curlers. Gladstone's William Morton Collegiate, WMCI, girls and boys, are both Zone 7 champions and will be competing at the MHSAA Curling Provincials to be held in Hamiota, March 3rd to 5th, 2022. Coaches Sylvia Hayward and Rob Melnick put in many hours of top-level coaching with the high school curlers. And here we have skip Jaden Armstrong, third Lacey Bidens, second Skylar Winters, leads Lauren Armstrong and Georgia Buer. And this is the coach, Sylvia Hayward. And here we have lead Blake Rosling, fifth Connor Braun, second Rylan Single, third Riley McBride, and the coach is Rob Melnick. Missing from the picture is the skip, Nathan Braun. All right, MAW leads partnership on AAFC's On-Farm Climate Action Fund, submitted by Manitoba Association of Watersheds. Manitoba Association of Watersheds, or MAW, is pleased to announce that the organization is a successful recipient of Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, AAFC, On-Farm Climate Action Fund project. The MAW-led project, which was supported by 38 organizations throughout the region, will receive up to $40 million over the 2-year project to be delivered throughout Manitoba and Saskatchewan around 3 key farming practices that benefit climate resiliency in agriculture, which are rotational grazing, nitrogen management, and cover crops. The fight against climate change is not only about reducing Canada's greenhouse gas emissions, but also helping farmers to innovate and adopt more sustainable farming practices, said the Honourable Marie-Claude Bibeau, who's the Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food. We will continue to do what is necessary to protect our environment and provide farmers with the support needed to make their operations more sustainable for future generations. The On-Farm Climate Action Fund builds on the work already underway by our government to lower greenhouse gas emissions and help improve long-term climate resiliency in the agriculture sector. We are ecstatic to receive this news, said Linda Nickel, MAW Executive Director. The project partners we are aligned with all have long history of producer-focused project delivery and producer outreach, which are key components of the project proposal's success. Nichols said the AAFC project will be overseen by a steering committee led by MAW and including Saskatchewan Association of Watersheds, SAW, Manitoba Forage and Grassland Association, MFGA, Saskatchewan Forage Council, SFC, Manitoba Habitat Heritage Corporation, MHHC, and Manitoba Beef Producers, MBP. It's a lot of letters. In addition to representatives from watershed districts in both Manitoba and Saskatchewan. The project partners will be fully engaged in planning, outreach, mentorship, and producer engagement. We are taking a grassroots regional approach to addressing issues related to climate change and agriculture, said Gary Wazalowski, MAW Board Chair. Supporting farmers to implement BMPs related to nitrogen management, rotational grazing, and cover cropping will have a positive impact on Canadian agriculture. We are proud to have the opportunity to deliver this programming in Manitoba and Saskatchewan, thanks to AAFC. Nickel pointed out the front-end work of the MFGA in the organizing of the regional groups' discussions around the proposal opportunity, and says the framework and respective group networks, including conservation interests and agriculture groups, are in place to allow the group to move forward quickly under MAW's leadership. This is a project for producers and has been since our very first steps together as a group, said Nickel. We are intent on producers seeing the great impacts they can make on their farmlands via this project, and are confident in the strength of our delivery partners to move this project forward to communicate, mentor, and engage producers efficiently while delivering the on-farm climate actions identified by AAFC that are so paramount to this project. We expect more program details will be released in March. Now we have something exciting that's going to be happening in the curling community in Neepawa. This article is by Owen Devereaux. The countdown can officially begin for Neepawa to host the Viterra Curling Championship. The 2023 edition of Manitoba's premier men's curling event will be held at the Yellowhead Centre. It will run from February 7th to 12th and feature a 32-team bonspiel that will crown the provincial men's champion. The 2022 championship recently concluded in Selkirk, with the Mike McEwen rink winning the tournament and earning the right to represent Manitoba at the Tim Hortons Brier. Neepawa does have some history with an event of this scale, as it was a previous host to the championship back in 2013. That year saw massive crowds converge on the Yellowhead to witness all the draws live and in person. As for the action on the ice, Jeff Stoughton and his Charleswood rink defeated Sean Grassie of Deer Lodge 7-4 in 10 ends to claim the title. That was 10 years ago. An event of this size requires a lot of work behind the scenes to ensure its success. Fortunately, Neepawa has a dedicated core of curling enthusiasts who are ready to go. On Monday, February 21st, a planning committee meeting was held to go over some of the preliminary planning. Scott Newton is one of those involved and recently spoke with the Banner and Press about the work that is already underway. Newton indicated that they have started getting the core executive in place, which will require approximately 20 committee heads to run all the different facets of this event. As for volunteers, Newton stated that when it's all said and done, they would expect to need roughly 250 volunteers to put this on successfully. Though that may sound like some daunting numbers to reach, Newton said they're very confident that the community will step up and help make this work. I think we're all pretty excited. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but I think there is a lot of optimism looking forward towards the bonspiel. Once the week is finally here, it's always a fun community event, said Newton. We are still in the very early planning stages, brainstorming new ideas that we want to implement and putting plans in place with Curl Manitoba. We will be out with sponsorship opportunities in the coming weeks. The heavy lifting will be done starting next September, but we need to get the foundation in place prior to that. As for the venue, Newton is confident that the Yellowhead Centre will be a phenomenal location due to its versatility. The Yellowhead Centre is a great venue for a large event like this. The hall will be used in conjunction with the event and will be used to host beer gardens and have entertainment throughout the week. It was last hosted in Neepawa in 2013 and it was a great fit then, and I expect it will be the same this time, said Newton. Anyone interested in assisting at the event can email volunteerneepawa2023@gmail.com to learn more. And we have a little article here. Early flood forecast predicts moderate spring flooding by Owen Devereaux. The province's first flood forecast of the year is warning of some potential risks across most of southern Manitoba. The Hydrologic Forecast Centre released the data on Friday, February 18th, and said that there could be moderate to major flooding in most basins, dependent on weather conditions from now until the spring melt. Transportation and Infrastructure Minister Doyle Piniuk stated that due to the above to well above normal winter precipitation this month, the Red River and its tributaries are at a high risk. As for the Assiniboine and Souris rivers and along the White Shell Lakes areas, Piniuk advised there is high to moderate risk of flooding. He attributes that to the well above normal precipitation that struck this winter. Estimates for the White Mud River were not a part of this initial report. Winter precipitation has been well above normal in most of Manitoba, with the exception of the southwestern portion of the province, which has received near normal precipitation. All of these outlooks are heavily dependent on the magnitude and speed of the spring melt. A gradual thaw would be fine, but a late thaw combined with spring rainstorms could result in a rapid snow melt. That would increase the potential of overland flooding and flows on tributary streams and larger rivers. The next flood forecast for the province will be released in mid-March. Okay. Now the sports section. Neepawa Titans win 2 of 3 games over the Louis Riel long weekend by Owen Devereaux. Every weekend now seems to be the most important one of the season for the Neepawa Titans. This past weekend was no exception, as they had played 3 games in just 4 days. The first 2 contestants were against the Ocean Blizzard on February 18th and 19th. In the first game, the Titans came away with an impressive 7-4 win. Will Hyatt had a pair of goals and 1 assist, while Cameron Trimble and Josh Romanek both contributed a goal and 2 assists themselves. Connor Brust, Jaeger Lapointe, and Tristan Thompson also scored for Neepawa. The very next night, the Titans once again put on a consistent performance over 60 minutes, earning themselves a 5-2 victory. Though OCN scored the first goal of the game less than a minute into the first period, Neepawa followed up with 3 of their own before the end of the period. Mitch Thiessen, Cody Gunnison, and Austin Klein were the only scorers for the home side. The second period and a fair proportion of the third were scoreless until Josh Romanek potted a chance for the Titans with 8:35 remaining. Dallin Wilton followed up a few minutes later to provide Neepawa with a 5-1 cushion. OCN would score 1 with just 8 seconds left in regulation time to make it 5-2 for the Titans. The Neepawa Titans hosted the Dauphin Kings on Monday, February 21st, in a matinee game at the Yellowhead Centre. It was Neepawa's chance to measure themselves against the top team in the MJHL's Western Division. While the Titans played a solid 60 minutes, Dauphin has been just simply too much to handle as the Kings collected a 4-0 win. The offensive output from the Kings started early as Logan Calder scored just over 5 minutes into the first period. Caden Bryant followed up just a few minutes later to give Dauphin a 2-0 lead after 20 minutes. During the second period, Braden Dubé and Parker Melchuk to secure a 4-0 lead after 40 minutes. That would end up being more than enough for the Kings, as goaltender Carson Cherapak recorded his 6th shutout and 23rd win of the season, stopping all 24 shots he faced. As for the Titans, by winning 2 of their 3 games over the long weekend, they kept themselves in postseason contention. Neepawa's record stands at 18-19-3-5. good enough for 44 points, 3 back of Swan Valley for the final playoff spot. The Titans do have 2 games in hand on Swan Valley, ensuring they still have some control over their own fate. Coming up next week for Neepawa will be a road trip up north to OCN to face the Blizzard. Those games are scheduled for February 25th and 26th at the Gordon Laughlin Memorial Center. The next home game at the Yellowhead Center will be on Friday, March 4th versus the Dauphin Kings again. And another article by Owen Devereaux is about the Tiger Hills Hockey League. It's games like these that are why I tell everyone I can go watch the Tiger Hills Hockey League, THHL, especially the playoffs. The Neepawa Farmers and Wawanesa Jets faced off in an Eastern Division best-of-3 quarter-final series. Game 1 was played on Wednesday, February 16th at the Yellowhead Center and saw Neepawa earn a 7-5 win. The Farmers were led on this night by Braden Gillies, who scored a pair of goals in the third period, including the one that would eventually be the game winner. His second of the night came from a high-speed give-and-go play with Garrett Rempel. Gillies put it past Jets goaltender Riley Rutherford to provide the Farmers with the 6-3 advantage, with just 7:35 left in regulation time. Brett Lewandowski also collected an assist on the play. A few minutes after that goal, however, a fight between Rempel and Wawanesa's Jackson Wallace seemed to turn the momentum in the Jets' favor. The tussle itself was a draw, but it was still enough to energize the Jets' figurative engines as they would score a pair of goals just 18 seconds apart to make it 6-5. While officials deliberated on that 5th Wawanesa goal to ensure it was good, another fight would break out, this time between Brock Sutherland and Rodney White. Those two would get tossed, and we'd get back to the actual hockey portion of the hockey game. Wawanesa would have several chances to tie, including one with about 5 seconds left in regulation, but that effort was whistled down due to the Jets having a player offside. The team argued vigorously against the call, but it did appear as though the attacking player was caught in the Neepawa zone as the Jets made one last drive to tie. Brad Marshall scored his second goal of the night for Neepawa with 0.8 seconds left on the clock to make it a 7-5 final. Gillies assisted on this and Marshall's other goal to conclude a 4-point performance. Kyle McDonald, Benoit Mowbray, and Lance Nugent had the other goals for the Farmers on the evening. The Wawanesa Jets quickly bounced back in Game 2 on Saturday, February 19th with a 7-4 victory. Brian Harris had a pair of goals for the Jets, while Jeff Neufeld, Brock Sutherland, Mike Rechtel, Jackson Wallace, and Brett Kitt also contributed for Wawanesa. Kyle McDonald, Benoit Mowbray, Brad Marshall, and Brett Lewandowski scored for the Farmers. The third and deciding game of this intense best-of-3 series hit the ice on Sunday, February 20th in Neepawa. The Farmers would hold on to a 2-1 lead going into the third period with goals from Marshall and Lewandowski in the opening period. Rechtel scored the lone goal for the Jets in that first 20 minutes of play. The second was scoreless, though Wawanesa did have several chances, including dinging one shot loudly off the post during a mid-period power play. Neepawa had several scoring chances themselves before the intermission, but were blanked by the play of goaltender Matt Vandenberg. It was in the third period when the intensity truly started to ramp up, as Graham Hoare scored the tying goal with 9:26 left in the period. A few minutes later, the Jets took the lead off an unassisted power play marker from Brett Kitt. Now trailing for the first time in the game, the Farmers were feeling the pressure to find the back of the net and keep their season alive. Fortunately for Neepawa, Dalen Creasy took advantage of a power play chance late in the third to tie things at 3-3 and send it into overtime. In the first 10-minute overtime session, Neepawa thought they had settled it early on a rebound tucked away by Matt Lowry. One of the referees, however, blew the play dead just milliseconds before the puck crossed the line, as they had lost sight of the puck and believed the Jets goaltender had it. At 4:15 into the second overtime period, Wawanise's Graham Hoare was open in front of the Farmers' net and was able to put away a corner pass from Brock Sutherland, sending the Jets on to the next round and sending Neepawa home. In the other THHL quarterfinal series, the Minnedosa Bombers defeated the McGregor Wild 2-1. The Verdun Oil Kings won their series over the Melita Bisons 2-0. And the Hartney Blues defeated the Deloraine Royals 2-0. The next Neepawa Titans Junior A hockey game, regular home season game, will be March the 4th at 7:30 against Dauphin, and then March 11th at 7:30 against Wew'sukapo. Okay. Now for Carberry North Cypress Langford news by Gladwin Scott. First, the curling corner. The Western Canada University Curling Championships were held in Regina at the Caledonian Curling Club February 4th to 6th. Team Manitoba, including Taylor Holland of Carberry, was unable to record a victory in the 5-team event. The final game, a 10-9 loss to the host University of Regina Cougars, was the highlight for the men. Skip Helly McCannell and her women's Brandon Bobcat rink finished the round robin 2-2 in a first-place tie with the Alberta Pandas and the Regina Cougars. With their tie-breaking formula, Regina was first, and the Alberta Pandas won 11-5 over Brandon. The Bobcat curling program got a big boost with a $10,000 donation from the local Briar Committee. The University Nationals in Sudbury, Ontario next month were cancelled by Curl Canada. Regular club curling continues in Carberry with 12 women's rinks competing on Tuesdays and 14 men's rinks on the ice each Thursday. The annual Carberry Bonspiel, February 21st to the 27th, is somewhat different this year as the skating ice is not being used. This will save a great deal of volunteer labor, and the minor hockey and skating people will not lose their ice for a week. It will also be an open bonspiel. Men's, ladies, or mixed teams could enter. Now, excerpts from the February council meeting. Town of Carberry Council held its monthly meeting in the basement of the Old Town Hall, February 8th. Development Officer Andrews attended by Zoom to present a bylaw amendment to rezone the Wells subdivision for residential development. The public hearing will form part of the March 8th meeting. The financial statements accounts of $247,249.66 were approved. Town Council unanimously moved to grant the Rec Board $100,000. This would be $60,000 from the 2022 contributions and $40,000 from their share of the Legacy Fund. The North Cypress Langford Council has indicated unwillingness to fund anything but a building from their share of the 10-year Legacy Fund. New Rec Board member Leah Bryant was granted permission to fundraise for a zip line for the new recreation area. Discussion centered on the fire department costs when 80% of the work is in the rural areas. Scott Barron sent a letter with concerns about the admission policy of the child care co-op. Brad Graham forwarded a letter with concerns about the delays and roadblocks to the campground funding proposal. The Health Action Committee expressed concerns that Pat Chartrand's position in the Carberry lab was not being filled. The Museum Board requires $80,000 to move the roundhouse into town, plus foundation costs, phone and data lines. Carberry Collegiate has nominated Matthew Salin, 3-year youth counselor, for a Schulich Leader Scholarship worth $80,000 to attend the University of Manitoba for a science degree. Here and there information. Carberry Collegiate Honor Roll, Semester 1. Grade 9, Riley Belhanis, Kelly Barron, Natasha Bosch, Braden Bobier, Ethan Downey, Aileen Fast, Avery Kendall, Tyler Knoll, Madden Laverne, Ryan McCallum, Hannah Polasek, Reinhard Rempel, Sandra Rempel. Grade 10 Honor Roll, Semester 1, Samuel Brower, Nathan Dick, Kayla Margetts, Renee Ramden Wagner, Nathan Robson, Emma Saley, Lexi Unraw. For grade 8, Mia Amundsen, Emily Beals, Rebecca Bird, Keegan Drysdale, Alicia Joseph, Carson Nakanekni, Esther Sippel, Tynel Steen. Grade 10, Celia Boganis, Natalie Clark, Laura Fast, Denise Macapagal, Matthew Salin, Annette Sippel, Nevaeh Witherspoon. Brett Jansen's Carberry Collegiate graduate who plays hockey with the Bottineau Lumberjacks will participate in the National Junior College Championships in St. Louis, March 17th to 19th. The blockade and freedom convoy are reportedly costing Canada $73 million daily. The Oakburn branch of Sunrise Credit Union will close on June 1st. Full Sunrise services are offered a short distance away at Shoal Lake. The 2021 Deloraine Winchester Community Section fundraiser was a success despite drought conditions. Excellent soybean prices resulted in healthy profits. After expenses, a profit of $92,419.18 was realized, which was divided equally among 7 organizations. Each group received $13,202.74. At the 2022 Beijing Olympics, every medal winner received a Shanghai bouquet, which was made of crocheted flowers. 1,251 bouquets, each requiring 32 hours of manual labor, were needed for the Olympic and Paralympic Games. 7 varieties, lily of the valley, hydrangea, rugosa rose, Chinese rose, laurel, sweet osmanthus, and an olive branch were in each bouquet. They represent friendship, perseverance, unity, happiness, victory, bounty, and peace. Now, the community profile this week is on Ali Lavich. Ali Lavich, 17 years old, is a member of the Carberry Collegiate graduating class who plans to continue her education at Assiniboine Community College in September, studying agribusiness. She formerly worked at the East End. Currently, Ali is apprenticing in carpentry each morning at This and That Manufacturing in Neepawa. 2 years ago, Ellie attended a volleyball clinic in Sanford and became the setter for the senior varsity Cougars. They enjoyed a good season this year, but were eliminated by ebb and flow at a regional tournament in Carberry. Some people who have positively influenced her life are Cheryl Snaith, Becky Birch, and her mother, Melanie Lavich. Now for the Wildcats update. The GCB Wildcats used 5 second-period goals to record an 8-1 victory over the Verdun Golden Bears at the Tundra Oil and Gas Center February 15th. Peyton Elliott and Johnny Myers scored the only goals in the opening 20 minutes, and the visitors were ahead 71 after 2 periods. Also denting the twine for the Wildcats were Elliott with a second, Jackson Mueller, Griffin Anderson, Landon Gwynison, Kylan Aitken, and Trey Dixon, who also added 3 helpers. Assists were collected by Jaron Waldner, who got 2 points, Carter Elliott, 2 assists. Tyler Hood, Carson Nakanekne, Preston Shearer, Gwen Anderson, and Aiken. The Golden Bears were outshot 53-26. In Glenborough, February 16th, the Sandy Bay Badgers edged the Wildcats 4-3 after a shootout. Trey Dixon tallied his 35th goal from Johnny Myers for the only first period marker. Sandy Bay led 3-2 after 40 minutes. Nathan Dick scored the second period goal, with Johnny Myers recording his 25th helper. Kylan Aiken, with his 22nd, tied the contest in the third, and Jaron Waldner collected his 31st assist. After a scoreless 5-minute overtime, Bobby Orr Roulette was the only player to beat either goalie in the shootout. The hosts outshot the Badgers 59-29. The Wildcats edged the Vincent Massey Vikings in a shootout 4-3 in Carberry, February 19th. Captain Deegan Campbell drilled the winner and was the only one of 6 shooters to score. Goaltender Carson Mooney was unbeatable. After a scoreless opening period, Kylan Aiken tallied his 23rd and 24th goals to give the hosts a 2-1 margin at the end of 40 minutes. Assists went to Peyton Elliott, Griffin Anderson, Nathan Dick, and Trey Dixon. Dixon gave the Wildcats a 3-1 lead, with Jaron Waldner and Johnny Myers assisting at the 1950 mark of the third period. Will Fawcett then scored twice for Massey to knot the score 3-3 after regulation. 5 minutes of overtime with 4-on-4 was scoreless. Winner of the 50-50 and $270 was Jamie Smart. The GCB guys finished a successful weekend by defeating Russell's Major Pratt Trojans 3-2 in Glenborough, February 20th. Goals by Luke Deckerby, his 34th, and Bo Tibbetts gave the visitors period margins of 1-0 and 2-1. Carson Nakanekne, with help from Preston Shearer, opened the scoring for the hosts in the second frame. The Wildcats, who outshot the Trojans 28-21, got goals in the third from Dylan Hood, assisted by Griffin Anderson and Kylan Aiken, and the winner from Jaron Waldner, with help from Johnny Myers. The Wildcats host McCreary in Glenborough, February 26th at 7:30 p.m., and the Crocus Plainsmen are in Carberry, March the 4th at 7 p.m. All right. Here's a couple of pictures. Snow-based play structure brings joy to area kids. This snowy steps, I guess there's steps in there, and railings provide the kids with an area to walk and climb. On the left portion of the photo, the walls of the fort, which is connected to the bridge, stick out. Okay. Oh, I see right there. At the sturdy front wall of the bridge, a tunnel was carved out to allow access to the fort. Here, some of the carefully handmade brickwork can be made out. The inside of the fort, a fun winter hideout and a good place to hide away from the chilly winds on some of those more breezy winter days. This play structure, a combined snow fort and bridge, has been bringing wintry joy to school kids in the Banner and Press coverage area. It was built by members of the Mennonite community south of Plumas. The structure was made at their schoolyard, located along Provincial Trunk Highway number 260. Now, I don't think I have enough time to read this article here, so I'll just touch on the very back page where High Life is committed to our communities. And it's entitled, What a Game. We were thrilled to be the official sponsor for another exciting game night on February 12th, when we got to see a great matchup between the host Neepawa Titans and the Verdant Oil Capitals. In a nail-biter, both teams put on an excellent display of talent, with the Titans tying the game 4-4 late in the third period before Verdant came out with the win with the 5-4 6-4 win in overtime. Thank you to everyone who made it out to the game to show your support. We hope you had fun. All right, well, that is it for this week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press. Thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next week. So bye for now.